Hello and welcome back to the Non-League Podcast with myself, Lee Simons. Yes, I'm back again with another special guest. This time I have Thetford Town's coach, Todd Rae, with me. And Todd, how are you, sir?
I'm alright, thank you. Not too bad. Just woken up after a night full of work. I'm not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Not too bad. I think I'm now in my third week of isolation, but I believe you're still working.
Yeah, busy working. I've been non-stop, really. Work really picked up.
Wow, I bet it has. So what do you actually do again? Sorry, Todd?
So I work for a company called Back to Healthcare, and we make IV bags for the NHS. And we actually make about 70% of their IV bags that they hold.
Oh, so right. Wow.
We've been classed under one of the key workers, so work hasn't actually stopped for me. So fortunately, I do get to go out and see people at work. So for those people who have to stay inside, I do feel for them.
Yeah, especially with Matt and Sam, they were telling me they're on their 6th week of isolation. Of course, I'm on my 3rd week of isolation. I think I've got another 3 to 4 weeks left to go, but you never know. It could change, Todd.
Oh, no, it could definitely change. I know Bondi and Matt will be struggling because they're both very sociable people, so I know they'll be really wanting to get out of the houses.
Exactly. So, Todd, to go about this podcast, I was just wondering if you can have a little introduction about yourself and how you got going in football. I know you didn't go into football straight away, did you?
No, I started off in futsal. So, for me, I went off to university and I went to Loughborough University.
Okay.
And my friends on my course were part of an academy called the International Futsal Academy there.
Right, okay,
and,
yeah.
I just was at first I was just watching them play because their games were on a Sunday and they'd play in the Bucks competition for the university and they'd also play within the national competition.
Oh right, wow.
For Loughborough, and just from watching that and watching it, it's a really intense, fast game, full of skill, tactical knowledge, and it's a really good game to watch. I'd really recommend it to any people. And from that, the head coach wanted to get me involved because he saw that I was really keen and passionate for it. So my 2nd year, he enrolled me, he put me on part of the coaching staff on the academy.
Oh, right, yes.
To learn the game. And it really kicked off from there. So I was doing the analysis for them on game days, goalkeeper warm-ups, and just learning the game myself more and more.
Yeah.
And I did play in my 2nd year for one of the Bucks teams as well, just so I could gain a playing knowledge as well.
Yes, yeah.
Which it was really fun to do. But then the coaching side kind of took more responsibility, so I had to kind of stop playing just to concentrate on the coaching side.
Oh, right, okay.
And then in my 3rd year at uni, in that 2nd year we got promoted from the 2nd division tier into the top tier in our 1st year in that competition. So we won the league straight up with the team we had, which was quite good.
Yeah.
And then I got promoted we obviously got promoted into the top tier, so we was with them. And then I also was made assistant coach of the Bucks side.
Wow, that's really good.
Which is quite good after only being introduced into a year. And then that team, we had quite a good season. We finished in the top 4 of the country and made it through to the playoffs to see if we can go to the main final of the country. We didn't get past the next stage, but we were really close. So I think we were beaten with only a few seconds left in the game.
Wow.
Which was quite heartbreaking, but at the same time, it was a good experience for the players because they were all 18 to 20 years old in the team. So for a young team and mainly British players, it was quite good to have to compete that well. And in the university setup, we got to we had like this competition in the semi-finals competition all away in Newcastle.
Right.
For the Super 8.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
8 teams come together and play each other in 2 groups of 4, and only the top teams go through to the final.
Okay. Yeah.
And the head coach was actually unavailable because he was Brazilian and his mum was visiting Europe for the first time.
Right.
So I had to take over.
Okay.
And fortunate for us, we had an unbelievable weekend. We had the men's team and the women's team there, which we collided together and had a great experience and great time. But we managed to win our group.
That's amazing.
Only just, but with like 9 seconds of the game ourselves, we managed to win a game superbly, which I'll never forget. One of the greatest experiences I've had.
Yeah.
Managed to have the final at St George's Park.
Okay, yeah.
Against Northumbria, and the players and the committee after that weekend decided they wanted me to take charge of the final because we had such a good weekend.
Yeah.
And it was a really good experience. Had obviously a few England international youngsters playing because of the setup we have at Loughborough, and we were 2-1 down at half time. I never forget, and then I was waiting for half time and said to the boys, like, this is definitely ours in the making. You just haven't been playing to your full potential. You need to seriously just knuckle down and look at yourselves and go play how you should be playing.
Yeah.
By the end of the game, we won 7-2.
Wow, that's amazing.
So my first year as a head coach, I was able to win the Bucks' main national competition, which was quite good for myself.
Definitely, that's some kind of achievement for yourself, Todd.
Yeah, by the age of 21, I was quite happy with that. So that was quite an enjoyable year.
Cool.
But yeah, and then I stayed on another year afterwards to coach them again, and got beat in the final this time on penalties.
It's typical penalties, isn't it?
Oh, typical penalties, yeah. Typical penalties have to come out and ruin me.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, as you were saying, that with the different areas in like football and futsal, you were saying it's a more quicker game. Did you say?
Oh, it's definitely it's so intense because it's on like a handball court.
Okay, yes.
So it's only a 20 by 40 metre court.
Right. Okay.
But
Yeah.
the spatial awareness is massive, so you've got to be able to think quick. You've got to have less touches on the ball because you haven't got as much space. For a football, you've obviously got a massive pitch.
Of course,
and
yeah.
You can have actually a bit more time on the ball. This, you've literally got to be, as soon as the ball gets you, you want to be playing two-touch football.
Yeah.
Really, you want to be playing two-touch, quick style, 1-2s. Movement patterns off the ball are really important to create space for players with the ball, or for players who aren't on the ball. You want to create space for others to try and break each other down.
Yes. Yeah, because
it's really quick.
Because I actually watched a little bit yesterday on YouTube. I think England were playing Wales at St George's Park, actually. And it seemed to me that, was it a squad of like 15 players you can have?
Yeah, so you can have, I think, it's about a squad of 14 to 15 players.
Yeah.
But you can do rotating subs. As each player, it's just substitutes are rotating, so players can keep coming on and off as much as need be.
Yeah.
But they have to go through like a sub gate to make sure it's like a legal sub.
Okay. I understand.
Players stay on the court at one time.
Yeah.
There's certain rules, like with the goalkeeper. Once he's played the ball out, he can't just touch the ball again until the opposition have touched the ball, or unless he goes into the opposing half.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I get you.
You can't constantly just play it back to the goalkeeper. It has to be played within the 4 players on the court.
Right. Okay. So you say, so if the goalkeeper like kicks, say, has like a goal kick, say, it has to go through those 4 players before it goes back to him. Is that right?
No. So the players can play with it on the court.
Right.
The only
Okay.
way he can touch it again is if the opposition would nick the ball and then they regain possession. He can then play it. He can have it again.
Right.
Start possession.
Okay.
Or unless the goalkeeper decides to travel into the opposing half, he can have as many touches as he wants in the opposing half.
Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah.
So what it does, it causes they call it a power play. So it's like a tactical thing. So if you're losing in a game, what you can do is you bring your goalkeeper into the opposing half, and then it kind of creates like a 5v4.
Yes.
On the out, so then you can play and move the ball around and try and break them down that sort of way.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
If you do watch if anyone does watch it, you'll see that probably come in motion more when teams are losing.
Yeah.
And you'll see that but that's the thing in futsal, goalkeepers have got to be very good with their feet in case this was to happen.
Yes.
So at the top level, I think the best goalkeeper to watch is the Kazakhstan goalkeeper. He is phenomenal with his feet, but he'll happily shoot from near the halfway line and dribble out with the ball.
Wow.
Because they know that it's a good way and a tactical way of scoring for them.
That seems it seems like a very fast tempo game, as you were saying. It's like 1 or even the 2 touch, and you have to have you have to have that knowledge of the pitch and of course the surrounding areas of where your players are actually are actually, and of course the opposition trying to stop you from, of course, scoring. So it sounds a very tempoed game.
Oh yes, it really is. It's definitely something I recommend people to watch. I know England do put some of their games on BBC Sports, so once sport comes back in, I would recommend people to keep an eye on BBC Sport because they do put them on their website and on their apps, the England games.
Well, that sounds amazing, yeah. Because as I was saying, I was watching the England-Wales game, I think, as I was saying, England were winning. I think they won the game 4-0, but it seemed like they were more, shall we say, the fitness on levels seems to be very high, very intense.
Yeah. England have a couple of players who play professionally.
Okay, yes.
They have a couple. One plays in Italy, another plays in Spain. There's one in France. I know the goalkeeper, my good friend, he played in Italy for a couple of seasons, professional over there. So, but the Welsh team, they aren't as competitive as England. They're not a bad side, but England so that competition would have been like a home nation, where it'd have been England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales.
Okay, yeah, I see what you go. Yeah.
England do normally dominate it, as they are the higher ranked team. It's just going into the next stage for international level where England are trying to push to now. Especially
if you got bigger teams, because I was watching like a documentary with Brazil being one of the top teams. Is that right?
Yeah, Brazil are definitely one of the top teams.
Wow, blimey! So I would recommend people watch it because it's kind of more fast paced tempo, like to like our five-a-side, which is kind of a bit slower.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because you have like smaller goals, you have smaller balls as well. Of course, the pitches are a bit smaller as well. But I recommend people do watch it. It's kind of fascinating to see these different kind of sports.
Oh yeah, so it's definitely worth a watch. With all it's a very good tactical game as well. It's great for kids as well if they're trying to get into football because in futsal you get the ball. I think there's a study. It's like you get the ball 600% more.
Right. Okay.
600% more touches of the ball than you would in a normal football game.
Wow.
So if you're like you've got a really good team as a kid setup and you're a defender and you're mainly in possession, you're not going to have the ball as much. But in futsal, the ball constantly changes size.
Yes.
You're actually going to get their technique and their like ability to pass and control the ball is going to increase because they have the ball more.
Yeah, exactly, definitely. Yeah, if the younger kids want to go into like say 11-a-side football, they're going to be more fitter than people who haven't played it, have they?
No, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So with that going on, you've won the championship. Of course, you lost the final as well. Where did you go from there?
So that was for me was like the turning point for me because I was up there that year. I stayed there after, and I had to quit the job I was working to go and coach that team in the semi-final and then in the final because of a work clash. They wouldn't let me, even though I told them that the reason I'm here was to coach this team for another year. Yeah. Because at the time, no team had ever won it back to back. So for me, that was like a goal to try and win it back to back.
Yeah.
Since then, Loughborough have managed to go ahead and do that. They have won every one since.
That's brilliant.
So it's good for them. But so I then decided to move back to Thetford, where I grew up back home.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember speaking to a player who was on the academy that they used to have that was run by Danny White, and I just went up there one afternoon and spoke to Danny about possibly trying to be involved within the academy or within the first team.
Okay,
and he said back to me and spoke with his assistant at the time, Jay. And they both agreed to have me on just to help out on game day, do a bit of physio work for them, just from my knowledge being at uni.
Yes.
And help out with some coaching and warm-ups and stuff and help on game day. And that's how I really got into
it. Okay, I've lost you there. Hang on.
Team. I've always wanted to be part of a team.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And part of coaching. I didn't want my coaching journey to stop just because I come back. So I wanted to join Thetford as it is my local team. And I know quite a the boys already who were at the team when I came back.
Exactly, yeah. So when did you actually join back with Thetford? What year was it? What season?
I came back in 2017. So it would be the 2017-18 season was when I started.
Oh, wow.
And my first game was we played Galston away.
Yes.
Which we lost in the last minute with a goalkeeping error, unfortunately. But we lost 2-1. But that was my start of my Thetford coaching career was away at Galston.
Oh, wow.
In 2017.
So, yeah, because I've only recently moved to Thetford. I think I've been here, say 10 years I've been here, but I haven't really followed Thetford enough. I did go to, I think we had Norwich City 11 reserve team here playing in a pre-season friendly back when Brian Gunn was manager.
Yeah, I remember. I think I came to that game.
And I think it was like 1,000 people which joined it. Was at Mumford Road. I thought, might as well go and see it. It was just down the road from me. It was like a 2-minute drive in the car. So I thought, oh, why not? Why don't we just go down there? So we had like 1,000 people watching the Norwich City against Thetford. Okay, it was an interesting watch to see Thetford play a Norwich City 11. But then I never thought about going back again until 2017, like yourself, Todd, when you got the coaching role. I think my first game, as I just mentioned to Sam, Matt, and Nigel, that was the Great Yarmouth game at home.
Yeah.
And we won. Was it 4-2, 5-2? I think it was.
Yeah.
And I kind of really enjoyed it. I thought, well, why not? We'll go back the next week, and I think, as I say, we'll play Colchester. No, not Colchester. Coddishall Town, I think it was. And of course, won again. I thought, oh, this is quite good. Why not keep going and keep going? Really.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was quite because it's only down the road. It's under £10 to go and watch Thetford play. It's quite reasonable price, I thought, and it's like the local people you meet and you speak to each other, especially when you're going to the away games as well. So you see like the individuals you recognise and you speak to them about things. Of course, then I started to do like the highlights. As you probably know.
A lot of those on Twitter.
Yes, so I kind of tweet them all up, and then of course the players and managers, coaches like yourself, supporters kind of love them, which is the main thing.
No, we do have a good following of certain fans who come up to mainly every home and away game, and we do really appreciate the support. It's always good just to have this like a small group of people who just want to see the team succeed and strive and do well, and even if we do have a bad game, they try to lift our spirits up when we're walking back down the tunnel, just trying to say like keep your heads up and stuff like that. It's always nice to have a tight group of people that want to just see us succeed.
Exactly, Todd. So in your role with Thetford Town at the moment, what is your coaching areas, if you can tell me?
So my main thing I do is I mainly work with Jamie, the goalkeeper.
Okay, yeah.
And do goalkeeper sessions with him at training and his warm-up before the game to make sure he's fully prepared. When I first came, I used to do some physio work and some like I used to take the boys for the warm-up. I now leave that mainly to Bondi, as he's kind of just taken over with it and continues, and we've done a mixture of his stuff and my stuff together, just so I can concentrate mainly on Jamie. But I also I do statistics for them. Okay,
yeah.
The video team.
Yes.
So while the game's going on, I've got my phone out, and the boys will think I'm not on my phone and actually doing other things. They're probably checking the bets, so they try and find me for that. But I can tell you now, I'm always doing statistics.
I bet you are.
But I'm always doing statistics, not checking my bets. Well, maybe sometimes I am, depending on what game it is. But no, I'm mainly doing statistics and doing like the stats, so the shots, the possession, corners, every sort of little thing, just to kind of give us an edge going into the half-time team talk, so we can know what kind of things to talk about. If we're like obviously dominating the game and we're only 1-0 up, we're like, look, you've had this amount of shots, why are we not scoring more?
Yeah.
Or the same vice versa. They've only had one shot, but they've scored from it, and things like that, just so we can kind of say like, look, or when we play a team again, we can say, look, the last time we played them, this is what the game went like. We need to make sure we take more of our chances than we did last time, or they were more a possessive side, so be prepared for us not to have as much of the ball and prepared to counter.
Yeah.
And then I give them obviously to the video crew, then we'll put that onto the game. But I've got all the games stored on from the games that I was there for.
Yes.
And it just kind of gives me an overhaul. So it's like, it gives me all the minutes of all the players. The players who's played the most minutes, who's had the most shots, committed the most fouls, so we can tell players not to go in as hard because they are the players who commit the most fouls and stuff like that. Where we score most of our goals, where we concede most of our fouls, stuff like that, just to try and give us more of an edge within the season. And the players do like it because obviously it's a bit more like professional and stuff like that, like hearing at half time the stats and at the end of the game hearing the stats. It just makes the players think, oh, we were actually more dominant than we thought or less dominant than we thought, but we still won the game, stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah, definitely. That seems very interesting. So you just do it on your phone? Is it just like do you do it like notes?
Yeah, I've got an app that I bought that I know that works quite well. Because like I say, I used to do statistics analysis when I was at uni, so it's always been quite an interest of mine. I always quite like looking more deeper into things within football. So having an interest in like analysis statistics, I thought, well, why don't I just do that and help out here at Thetford with that, just to try and help us go to another level as well.
No, definitely. It seems you've got it all key for that. So we're told going back to like 2018, 2019 season, just before like this season which has just gone and void.
Yeah.
Especially with me going to home and away games, it was quite good to see the lads all together and stuff. Of course, we got into the final at the Norfolk Cup final at Carrow Road. Was that a good experience for yourself? I know the result wasn't the best for us, but
it was unbelievable because for me, I'm a Norwich fan, so for me that was a dream come true.
Oh yeah, I bet it was.
So obviously, get to say it was at Carrow Road. Obviously, like as soon as we won that semi-final, I was giddy up until literally that day. I couldn't wait to go because I was like, I'm actually going to get to go in the dugouts, changing rooms. I was absolutely gutted to find out we were the away side.
I bet you were.
But still, to be able to go on the pitch, I did Viner's warm up for the goalkeeping, which was obviously a great experience to be able to be on there, ball around on the pitch and try and get him as ready as possible, and then to be able to be in the benches and like sit on the actual sidelines in the dugout and watch a game and help try and do what we can to win was an unbelievable experience.
I bet it was. I bet it was for you.
Definitely a dream of mine been achieved. Absolutely gutted for the boys that we didn't get the result that we deserved because we probably were the better team. Deerham just took their chance when they needed to.
Yeah, fortunately, because it came in extra time, didn't it?
Yeah, it came in the second half of extra time, which was even worse. But we did absolutely like play our hearts out, and the boys can only give them full credit. It literally was one of the greatest like days and nights of my time at Thetford. I could definitely say the clubhouse was booming after the game, despite the result.
I bet it was. But then, because I think we took about 1,000 fans, didn't we? Or
yeah, we took a serious amount of fans ourselves.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
And it was really good because we had loads of people from Thetford, young kids from Thetford, families of each players, and I had 2 friends from university. They came down to watch the game, just come and support me. And obviously we had Priddle brought his RAF regiment. And they were all chanting and singing, especially when he scored our goal. So it was great just to hear and have loads of fans support us.
Yeah, I bet it was.
It's just something we'd really wish that could happen more regularly on a home basis, on our home games.
Yeah, it seems like we get I think we had between 40 and 100 people there, maybe a little bit more. I know when we get the bigger teams like Stowmarket, we get over 200 to 300 people.
Yeah.
I believe when we had Gone Manchester Rovers in that FA Cup game a few years ago, I think that was over 200 people as well. So that the crowds can come in if the team are doing quite well.
Yeah, it's funny as well how, especially we love a Friday night game at Thetford because we know we get a good crowd. We like playing under the lights. We know the atmosphere is more buzzing, and the players also know they get their weekends as well. So when we do love when we get a Friday night game because we know that we feel like as if we have a better chance because we do have more of a support, and I don't know what it is about the lads, but they just love playing on a Friday night game. Yeah,
because of my because I work most weekends anyway or during the week, but because I finish quite early on a weekdays now, I can actually go to the Tuesday night games and the Friday night games. I may have the odd Saturday game I could go to. We went to AFC Clacton last season, and it was a 5-5 draw, as you know. But for me, Friday nights under the lights, they were quite good, really. I think, especially when you've got the weekend to do what you want to do as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you've got the under 18s coming in as well hopefully for next season as well. That would be quite good because I think they'd be playing in the Wednesday night 309 youth team set up or the league.
Yeah, that'd be really good for us because we haven't had a youth set up. We've been crying out for one for a couple of years really because we want to be a club that kind of develops players and brings players through the system. And because an under-18 team is absolutely perfect because you can teach, we've got teams all the way up to under-16 and then it's just, they've got to make the jump straight to men.
Yeah, especially with the reserves team.
having an under-18s team is ideal because what you can do, the best players from the under-18s team can then go and play and try in the reserve level to see what they're like.
Yeah.
Slow introduction into men's football. It's the ideal way for the club to go. So to hearing that we're most likely having one is a real bonus for the club and will hopefully push the club in a better direction going forward.
Yeah, definitely.
We want to try and promote bringing young players through. Like you see, we've got quite a few young players ourselves.
Yeah, you have.
Brad, Hunty, George, Jamie and goal is young. And we've also had other players, Kevin Castro, coming through from young. A young player himself, so it does prove that we do like to bring young players through. So
exactly.
Under 18s team will definitely benefit us going forward.
Yeah, definitely. It's coming into the next season, really. I think with yourself, Matt, Jay, and all the other, with all the other management team, I think we might have a good chance. I think it's going to be quite strong. I know Matt's looking for different areas. Just to tweak it a bit, but then I think if we have a good pre-season and then go into the season, I think we could obviously make the top 6, even push for a little bit further, really, or even wanting to go on another cup run.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I know Matt's already working hard on plans for next season. We definitely have a talented squad when we all turn up and play.
Yeah.
We've definitely got some talented players in there. We just struggle with consistency every now and then, but we want to bring in a few fresh faces. It's always good to bring in some fresh faces to stiff up the competition, new atmosphere in the changing rooms, different attitude, different faces. Does kind of help lift the team, and it's just not the same vibe. But the players, though, one thing I will give them serious credit for is why I like staying with Thetford is because they make it feel so homely. Like all the boys want to play for each other.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can see that.
They all get on.
Yeah.
And that's why I do love this team, is because I feel sat at home like as if they are all my mates, and I know that I can trust them and count on them to help me out when it's needed, and they know that I'll do the same for them. But that's one thing I do love about this team, is that it does feel like a family, and that is really down to the players and also down to Mort since coming in as well. He has really bought what he's done at gym and trying to bring that into this team as well, and make people want to play for each other and bring that attitude and passion out of them to strive on to greatness. And I do think if we get a few fresh faces in and we hit pre-season hard and we go to what Morts and Bibby have got planned for the season, if the boys listen and take it on and we really hit pre-season well, I definitely there's definitely a chance that we could definitely be top 6, because I know that's what Morts will be looking at.
Yes.
If not, we want to be top 10 for sure, because we definitely have the squad for that.
Oh, definitely.
And we definitely have the belief that we can do that and bring that to Thetford.
Exactly, because when we going back to the pre-season last season, I thought we had quite a good season. I know there was a couple of results which which doesn't mean anything, but I know it's the time. It was the players getting the minutes into the legs and everything, and they seem to be really gelled together.
Yes, definitely. That's always something we've tried to bring, is everyone in together as a team and make it as one.
Yeah.
It's massive. Being part of a team and actually wanting to play for the person on your right and the person on your left, person in front and person behind. If everyone will do that, then teams can be dangerous. Ability doesn't always have to take over.
No.
You will see teams, they might not be the best ability, but they all work hard for each other and work for each other. They're more likely to have success because they all have that same desire.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's something we are really trying to bring more out of everyone, and it will hopefully make us a lot better as well.
Exactly, Todd. But I know we went a little bit wrong last season when we had the first game of the season against Walsham when we won 2-1. I thought, it's going to be quite a good season, but then it kind of fell apart. I know there was a few little mistakes, little niggles going on, but as soon as, sorry to say, but Danny, he done a good job. But then when Matt came in, I felt it was a little bit of a different. It was more refreshing. It was something different, if that makes sense. I know he played against his old club Walsham away from home, because I was at that game, and it seemed to be when they scored, the heads didn't really drop. It seemed like they kind of got back into the game. They got into that next gear. And of course, they won the game, didn't they? So I bet you, as a coach, was proud of that with Matt as well, and all the team as well.
It's great to see. in a changing room, like the difference. Because obviously that was the first time I've met. First time I've been under like Matt's control as well, and watching his halftime team talk, like to motivate players, like it was quite inspiring to watch.
Yeah.
He really did get at the players and really did. As you saw in the second half, we were a completely different side.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely walked over Walsham in that second half. But to listen to what he was saying, the information and like the words he was saying, you can see on the players, they were all starting to get fired up for the game.
Yeah.
And then Billy was coming in with his tactical things, little things to help players out individually and just to help us control the game more. And it just was a perfect balance for that second half because we was absolutely phenomenal.
Definitely,
and
yeah.
I was just like, wow, we've really got a tactical side and we've also got a real good motivational side. You put them together, who knows how good we could actually be.
Exactly, yeah. Pity that the season finished, as it did. But that game against Ely City, because again, it was a Friday night, so the team will be up for it. The players, the players will be up for it. It was a good follow with like the Thetford fans as well, and even the Ely fans, because it had nearly 200 people there. So on a Friday night, underneath the lights as well. I know it's away from home, but I know the team went 2-0 down, and of course you got Johnny scoring that goal just before half time. Of course, Matt must have said something in his brilliant team talks, and then come out firing in the second half. Had that corner. Max scored from the corner, as well. And of course, then Tanner scored right at the end.
So yeah, we could see that Morts is one of the most passionate people you'll see, because you saw in the video for the last goal, even though he's gone well out of position, he was still chasing that ball down.
He was chasing that ball.
You can hear the players behind saying, "No, come back," but he knew that his pressure would invoke a mistake, and then it obviously set Woody free to then set Tanner free as well.
Definitely,
But you can see that there was a drive in the boys as soon as they come out the second half that they could still get something out of this game, especially against a team who we need to be getting points off at that stage in the season. We had to get points off them. We couldn't get anything else. So at least minimum of a point, we should be taking 3 points, and obviously we did. Obviously now that's kind of been null and voided. It's a bit of a shame, but those moments we can kind of take into next season and say, look, even in games when we are behind and haven't played well, we know we still have the ability to turn games around.
Yeah, definitely.
The positive going forward. We just now need to look at ourselves and say, why were we 2-0 down in the first place, and let's eradicate those mistakes.
Exactly, yeah, definitely. So for next season for yourself, what's going to be your role? Is it going to be with Jamie again, or are you going to do a few more little bits like you were saying with the tactics, the stats?
I haven't really spoke with Matt that much because obviously the managers have a chat, but I was at work unfortunately at the time.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, he does want to keep me, which is I'm quite happy about. He welcomed me back, because I did think for about a month or so I did move actually away, but that didn't work out for me. So as soon as I came back, I messaged him and he said I was always welcome.
Wow, that's good.
Which was quite nice, and I'm grateful for. But I'll still work with Jamie and the goalkeepers within the squad, and I'll continue to do the statistics just to give us an edge.
So how
an edge as possible.
So what is Jamie like as being a goalkeeper for you? What do you think of Jamie if he's listening to this?
His untapped potential with this, because he's only a young keeper. He's for his age, he's phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
His ability to make shot saves is brilliant, and we got on really well. We have a really good relationship. So when it comes to training and warm ups, he absolutely loves it, and he buzzes off it. And it really does help him get up for a game. And he always says that he loves working with me, and he really sees me as his coach and help going forward. So I know when I do sessions for him, he's really excited and he's really keen, and he will listen to information that I do give him on his game to try and help him out as much as I can. But I do think he's a keeper with untapped potential. There are little things I want to work with him more next year to try and push him into the next level.
Yeah.
Obviously, being a young keeper, confidence can always be is a massive thing for him, being a young lad in a men's game.
Definitely.
So that's definitely something I will be working on to try and keep him more confident throughout the season. Because I know the players, they do trust him, and they do really like him, because he does obviously make some superb saves. But there's little things that I think I want to help with him more like communication and confidence levels, which I definitely think I can bring out of him next year, and hopefully we can have a proper pre-season together and hopefully try and do the best we can.
Exactly.
Get him to the next level where it should be and more consistent within the first team and help make him feel happier because he's a massively confidence player, which is a key thing. So if I can keep him confident, I know that it will help him and help us progress further.
Well, with the saves what he did last season, I know going back to Clacton, I know he said on Twitter that social media that he had like a poor game. To be honest, I don't think he had a poor game really.
No.
It's all about confidence.
He's his worst critic, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's all about confidence, and I feel that his shot stopping is really good. His kicking is really good as well.
Superb, yeah.
It's like because I used to play in goal as well, so I know how he feels. If you make if you make a mistake, it's you feel that you've let the team down. But if you trying to get that out of your system, if it's like early in the game or late in the game, you try and you try not to make a same mistake again. You try and learn from the mistake. So I know how he feels. But
exactly. And I've seen people forget that how young he actually is.
Oh yeah.
And because he's that young, he's playing this level already.
Yeah.
After really not playing much of a level before.
No.
He's had a massive step up in great, but he took it to it unbelievably well.
Yeah, definitely.
When Morton first in, he put him in. He
He
was absolutely phenomenal, and you could see that he was loving the game. He was playing well. So he was absolutely buzzing. The boys were thriving off him, and they still do. They still do now because he does have the ability to make those saves, which make you think, how the hell has he done that?
Exactly.
And they're like, those saves can definitely help you win a game.
Yeah.
And his kicking does help his distribution into the right areas. And it does help with get up the pitch, and you don't have that worry about he's going to kick it straight to a centre forward, and we're going to be on our back straight away.
Exactly, especially when you had Will at the club as well. I know he left last season, but then he was basically put into the deep end against Walsham, and I thought he'd done really well.
Oh, he had a superb game. I remember some of the saves he made in there.
Oh, yeah.
I still question and go, how did you even make that? He said to me, I don't know. I just reacted. I was like, well, just keep doing it because you keep doing that and you're not going to lose your spot, lad.
Exactly, yeah, definitely. But for you, Todd, how do you see yourself? Do you want to go into like the management role, like the manager himself, or are you going to do more coaching?
I do miss obviously having my own team. Obviously, when I was at uni, obviously it was basically my team, so it felt really good to be in control. But obviously, I've not done football, so for me, this is massively like a learning thing. So obviously, I got futsal while I was at uni and watched it for a bit and learned before I went into management myself. So for me, this is learning. Like I learned under Danny, I learned under Jay, and now I'm learning under Bibby, who's got some serious qualifications, and I'm learning quite a lot more from his training sessions about more tactical side of the game. And I'm just trying to see how futsal tactical and football tactical I can mix the two together.
Yeah, I see where you go for that.
I know I'm quite confident when it comes to a futsal court. Football, I'm still trying to learn the differences between and the different elements that are definitely required. But I did help out with the reserves and Jodie this year for a few games, and that was quite good because Jodie would always ask for me if I was ever available. I would happily help out when I wasn't needed, or if we didn't have a game.
Oh, exactly.
That was quite fun.
Yeah, especially when Jodie's done a really good job there in the reserves. I know the results haven't been what he wants, but I think he's doing
He's managed to keep the reserve side, and I do think next year they could be a lot better. I
definitely.
Know obviously, as a club, we're planning for next season already, so
definitely.
we're hoping to be in a better position for next season.
Well, that's good. That's good for the club. It's good for yourself. It's good for Jodie, of course, Matt, and the under-18s as well. Of course, you've got the youth team, you've got the vets team, and of course, you've got the ladies team as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's great that we have as many club teams as possible that venture out within the different areas in the county. So it's really good that we're now starting to become a club that offers it to everyone.
Exactly, definitely, yeah.
Which is great for people who are around the area that are thinking of trying to get into it, and it's like, well, we've got all the options possible.
Yeah.
Get in contact and try and get yourself playing football because it is a great thing to watch and a great thing to play.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you feel about the social media side of it? With like myself, you've got Simon Staines who does like all the newspaper stuff. You've got the YouTube channel as well, and of course me when I'm free and like doing like little highlights, bits and pieces, or even.
I think social media can play a massive part, especially in boosting team profiles and like little things that you do with these podcasts are great to listen to, like season reviews. I know the players straight away, they love listening out to see what you give them as their review.
Yeah.
But social media can play a massive part. Obviously, it's massive in like professional football. Why can't it be in non-league football? Like people can there's a lot of interest in people going around different clubs, like watching different games. Especially like there's some people who've been on YouTube, like they go and watch games, and then it's like, oh, we're actually being watched today. This is great. We can go and watch it back and see their opinions, and then you know there's other people who are going to watch it.
Yep.
But I do think it plays a massive part because obviously people like newspaper art, like being in the newspaper and stuff like that is always a good boost for players.
Oh yeah.
It is for us in the club because we get fines with people who get put in the paper. So it boosts up more fines for people, which is a good laugh between players. But it's nice like getting a bit of publicity and hearing what people like reports on games and people videoing games. It's always good just to know that there are people who want to do this at the lower level.
Oh yeah.
So for players, it definitely makes them feel better, and I think just for coaches as well, it's good to try and just get like your name out there and get the club going forward on social media is a massive thing to do.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Because when I kind of started it, it was like there was really hardly anyone doing it. You've got, of course, you've got Wade Days with Ellis. He does it because he's in Great Yarmouth, but he goes all over the country. Of course, you got DJ as well, James. He goes to all like non-league, and of course he goes to like even lower leagues as well, down in the Suffolk and Norfolk area. And of course you got Alan Wade who does all the Stowe Town FC stuff as well. Me, you got your YouTube channel, you got Woodpeckers TV as well. So it's all going in the right direction.
Oh, definitely. Like non-league football, I do like watching non-league football because there's a lot of heart and a lot of passion into it. Because obviously there's people, they're taking time out of their lives to play.
Yeah.
They've got their own lives and work lives, and then they're giving up their time to play. There is a different feel. Like obviously you watch a professional game to watch the best of the best, but this you do get a lot more heart, a lot more passion, a lot more like drive and heart on the line, which is really good to watch. And I do try to get our mates to come up and watch more games.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I'd rather watch the big boys. Like, yeah, but you don't. It's not the same. You're at a small area. The atmosphere is a lot different. You can actually hear more of the players talk and the coaches talk and the referee. You can hear more of that, which you don't get at a professional game.
No, you don't know.
But
you're right.
You can fall in love with non-league football.
Oh, definitely.
Because you can get to know the people quite easily in the clubhouse after the game, and you get to know people more just by watching them play.
Yes, you certainly do. Especially when, going back to that Yarmouth game, it's like they're right next to you. You see the same people again and again, which is good. Yeah. And even if like these podcasts or even like the season reviews, even if it's like retweeted or shared through like different people as well, it's a good thing.
Definitely. It's great. I have really fallen in love with non-league football. I won't deny it since coming back.
Definitely. Well, Todd, many thanks for joining me on the podcast today. I really do appreciate your time.
That's fine, anytime.
Okay, mate, well, I'm going to leave it here. Thanks for everyone else who listened today, and we'll see you on the next one.